But if fucking Beyonce shows up to the Grammys, you give her one.
We're the Beyonce of podcasting.
Sure.
Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself. What is that?
It was like an evil laugh.
Oh.
Like a spooky, scary.
It was like, ching, 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 ching,
No.
ching, ching.
No. Careful.
Here comes Halloween.
Careful.
Here comes Halloween.
Ho, ho, ho.
Happy Halloween.
It's October, baby.
Obviously.
Hell yeah.
It's obviously October.
Yeah. October's in the air. Yeah. All I want for Doctober is boo.
Oh, that's good.
Fuck, I'm so
oh
fucking
my
good
god.
at this.
And boo, boo, boo.
That's a joke people aren't gonna get at home because you were doing all of the actions.
Oh, yeah.
Like in Love Act. Like it's not an audio joke. And then I just made a shitty drum sound. Like at home, that's not a joke.
But in here,
kind
of a joke.
We're made for each other.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
Oh yeah, but the candy's sure delightful.
But since you've got nowhere to go, you're a ghost. You're a ghost. You're a
Fuck.
ghost.
Damn it. Hang on.
Yeah. Okay.
I can crack this.
Yeah.
Deck the halls with bowels of gory.
Whoa.
Fa la 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 la.
Still blah, blah, blah.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Oh, Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Halloween. What will I dress like this year?
Okay. Oh,
Halloween. Oh,
Halloween.
Trick or treat to your door. No. Fuck. Shit.
My dad can't come because too many beers.
But now no, fuck. There's no way that I was never good at improv, right?
Silent Fright.
Nice. Holy shit.
Fuck, that's good.
Didn't even say shite.
No one could have done that.
Oh my god.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Oh man, and we are in the Doctober spirit, baby.
We can't be more.
Couldn't be more. Things are going well.
Rudolph
if you're listening
the
over on
dead nose.
That's good. Reindeer had a very shiny knife.
And if you ever saw it, you would have to run for your life.
He would have to take your life.
Oh, yeah, that either way works. Yeah. Okay.
Hang on. Let me cook.
Okay. Keep going. All of
the other knives. Fuck.
Used to
laugh and call him bitch.
Oh, okay, all right.
Why do they call him bitch? Fuck.
They never let poor Boo Doll join in any of their knife game.
Throw a body in a ditch.
Oh, there we go.
Okay? Then one foggy Hallows Eve.
Okay.
A skeleton came to
Oh,
say.
it's getting spooky.
Well, they don't have tongues.
Yeah, but could they be like clank, 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 clank,
Oh,
clank?
yeah, I suppose. But I can't make that sound with my mouth.
Clank?
I'm in a weird mood
I can
tonight.
tell that, yeah. Yeah, you're in a weird mood, man. So this week, we're talking about atrocity.
Bloody the snowman.
Oh, still snow.
But it's made of blood.
Yeah, okay.
Let me cook.
All right.
Had a jolly, scary snow.
No, still snow. Not in blood.
Fine, just keep
And if
going.
you ever saw him.
That's good.
Yeah.
You would even cut your foot.
Not something that
Well,
rhymes with
saw,
snow.
but oh, I see.
You
I
said
took
snow.
I took the wrong cue.
Yeah.
If you're a Canadian podcaster and you want to nominate us for Outstanding Leisure Series, go to canpodawards.ca. Nominations close on the 22nd.
I mean, if
I
not-
can't imagine a scenario where you wouldn't want to vote for us there. I understand it makes more sense to vote for us for comedy, but we won last year. We're ineligible this
And
year.
I think you, from listening to the last 5 minutes, it doesn't get much more leisurely than this.
Yeah, we're taking a leisurely approach to preparing an episode.
Yeah, of recording comedy.
You could also nominate us for Outstanding Branded Series.
Oh, because of DC.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because we're
Yeah.
committed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a
Actually,
brand.
probably don't do that because then they'll find out that this is branded.
No, I
DC.
want them to know.
Yeah, this is what they've wrought.
Yeah, next year their Halloween special is just called like Boughs of Gory fa la 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 la.
Bloody snowman.
Or fuck, yeah, or that.
Yeah. It's
Silent
Mr.
Fright,
Freeze.
holy shit.
Not holy shite.
Number one.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's October, baby.
Obviously.
And this week we're doing a theme largely voted on by the Golden Age patrons, but ultimately just picked by Richard.
The best way we could choose.
Which was pretty good. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's your fault for making it a 3-way tie.
Yeah. I mean, as the thing I've said before, it's your fault this is a 3-way.
If you thought he couldn't, Jesus. That took me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy. Oh no. It's your fault this is a 3-way?
Yeah.
Are you okay, man?
I mean, it wasn't good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I guess let's get in the episode. Is there like news or anything or
I don't know, maybe. I stopped pulling that long time ago.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
No, I also didn't prep anything. I just like to
Complain about things? Yeah. Wow. The biggest surprise about Reed Vanier. He just likes to complain about things.
Hey.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sort of
A
true.
lot of bark.
Yeah.
We're talking about Atrocitus.
Yes, we are. We're talking
This
about Atrocitus, the leader of the Red Lanterns.
What better for this atrocious episode?
Yeah. Atrocitus.
Atrocitus.
Yes, that's right. And sitting Atrocit me is my co-host.
Yeah.
You know what they say about Atrocitus. Makes an ass out of truss and tuss.
Can't spell it without you and us.
Yep. I'm in a weird mood.
I can tell, man. I think it might have been also from laughing. Your health's a little bit lightheaded now.
I could be a little lightheaded. I also basically I've
Oh, yeah.
I've eaten a third of what I normally eat for the last 3 weeks.
Have you lost any more weight?
No, I'm starting to plateau.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say plateau, but like I'm at the point now where it's not the quick loss. I'm going to lose like 1 or 2 pounds a week.
Sure. Normal.
Normal, just moving forward.
yeah.
So it's a little less. This is where I need the more mental discipline because there's not all of the instant sort of gratification. Of,
We in the
like,
70s now?
I'm at 268.
Whoa. Damn. and Gina.
Yeah. Considering that 3 weeks ago I was at 295.
That's a fucking big ass jump.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
yeah.
All right, let's go to Facebook.
Go to the face of the book. Go to the Facebook.
First question comes from Braden Keddy, who asks, medically speaking,
Okay.
how high do you think Atrocitus' blood pressure is considering his constant anger levels? This feels like a question for the other podcast.
It does, where we have doctors listening.
Yeah, and constantly talking about blood.
Not here where we have
Doctor
all of
hosting.
I'm going to admit a thing. I still don't. I a little bit understand blood pressure, but barely. The top number.
Yeah. How does the connection? Yeah.
The top number is how is the pressure until it stops, I think, when it's tightening, and then the bottom number is like what pressure it has to be at to get through again when it's loosening or something.
Sure.
They're called like systolic and diastolic. I truly don't know what they mean, but what I do know is that the most significant part of blood pressure is actually the gap between the numbers. I mean, it's not good if both numbers are high, but if one number's really high and one's really low, that's really bad. Like that, I know that
because I've seen it.
But I mean, like anger and stress and that do give you higher blood pressure. But some people also just like run hot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They just exist at a higher blood pressure.
Sure.
And also, like, I got to imagine your size has something to do with. Like, Atrocitus is large.
Sure.
It's a big character.
Yeah.
So I actually think maybe like high blood pressure is like normal because it's hard. Well, actually, I'm being an idiot about this. He doesn't have blood pressure anymore. When you become a Red Lantern, your heart stops working
Whoa, really?
because the rage takes over.
Whoa.
So if you take a Red
you're
Lantern,
dead?
if you take a ring off a Red Lantern, they fucking die.
Whoa. So are they already dead, though?
No, they are alive, but the rage, like the red light, takes the place of their blood, and their heart is no longer really...
So they can't ever be not mad ever again?
Well, there's only a few ways to get out of it. One is that a Blue Lantern's light can help heal you, and you can kind of rid you of the Red Lantern kind of magic, because a Red Lantern's also like partly magic. So that's a thing. But truly, I mean, for the most part, there's not many ways out of it. So actually, it's a flawed premise to begin with. He doesn't really have blood pressure.
Well, damn, there you go.
Yeah.
Next question from Ryan Putney, who asks, so if I'm remembering correctly, the animated Green Lantern cartoon explored a little bit of Atrocitus' origin. Was the show pretty accurate, or what are the differences between the comics and the show?
It's pretty close. I think the big difference is that the show just doesn't delve into every single fucking detail, because Atrocitus' origin is actually like Atrocitus first shows up in 2008 or something like that, like somewhere around that time period.
Okay.
But part of Atrocitus' backstory, like a lot of things from the Johns era, actually ties back to something much older. There are some concepts like the 5 inversions and the and stuff like that go back to an Alan Moore Green Lantern story, like Tales of the Green Lantern Corps Annual #2.
Okay.
So Atrocitus is not mentioned by name in that issue. He's not that old of a character. But the retcon is that he's one of the 5 inversions. They don't all have names. There's Cull, I think, is the one that is named in that old story. So the short version of Atrocitus' background is that he lived on this planet called Ryut that was in Sector 666.
Scary.
What's spookier than that?
Nothing.
And remember, before the Green Lanterns, there were those robots, the Manhunters, right? So the Guardians created the Manhunters, these emotionless robots, and they were going to be the police force. Isn't that a great idea?
We love it.
Yeah, we got these from Boston Dynamics. Some of them look like little dogs. Isn't that fun? But then the Manhunters go rogue, and they basically decide that like injustice and chaos are the product of organic life. And the Manhunters go on a massacre, just wiping out every living being. And they massacre the entire sector of Sector 666.
Damn.
To the point that there are only 5 survivors in the sector, not just on a planet, the whole sector. And Atrocitus is one of them. Those 5 survivors call themselves the 5 Inversions, and they basically like they start learning magic and shit, and they swear a kind of vengeance thing against the Guardians of the Universe. And they start this, like, they call it the Empire of Tears, which was this kind of big like galactic magical empire for a long time, until the Guardians eventually stop them, put them in prison. And then the Guardians make the Green Lanterns, and they go, "This'll go fine." So the retcon, like,
Obviously it did for him.
Atrocitus is retconned back into that story at a later date, but that's essentially his origin. A decent amount of that, I think, is intact on the show. The 5 Inversions thing, the fact that the Manhunters wiped out his planet. I think the Green Lantern in the animated series is the show that we're talking about. I'm pretty sure that one keeps that relatively intact. What they don't do is delve into every single piece of it, because then there's all this shit about like his connection to Abin Sur. We retcon his connection to fucking Black Hand, to Sinestro, to like all of these different like pieces and that. So that's the stuff the show doesn't really do. But all things considered, it's a pretty close adaptation, I would say.
Yeah, nice. Next question from Chicken Maddie.
Oh my God, Buck.
Who asks, are there any DC characters whose names are quite as on the nose as Atrocitus? If so, what were their parents thinking? I mean, there's, even in the Green Lantern, there's more.
I mean, there's Sinestro.
Yeah, like
here's the thing I'm going to throw out there, though.
Yeah.
Sinestro's name is Thal Sinestro. That's his name.
Okay. Atrocitus
is a name he takes.
Yes, okay.
His actual name is Atros.
Oh.
So his parents didn't actually call him, but they weren't like, look at our little sweetie, Atrocitus.
Sure.
Named for the atrocities that the Manhunters will surely visit upon our planet.
No, he just went, Atros, it us.
Oh my God. It me? No,
it us.
Yeah.
For us, bio.
Jesus. But I mean, he takes that name. So, it is a scary name. It's very on the nose, but that's not weirder than like a Wonder Woman villain calling herself Genocide, or
sure,
there's all sorts of characters that like name themselves something scary.
But characters.
So Atrocitus has more in common with them than having like, my name, your name's not like Ned Evil or something like, there's not some shit like that.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Wow.
Scott Evil. Why didn't I say Scott Evil?
$1 million.
Closer.
Yeah.
It's 2 Lorne Michaels now, though. You've gone too far.
It's a hat on a hat.
Yeah, I definitely. So yeah, I mean, it is funny.
Yeah, babe.
It is funny when you have these characters that have these like quote on the nose names, but it's like the one Green Lantern that looks like a diamond. I'm pretty sure his name is like Chrysalian or something. So his name is clearly like
Chris
Crystal.
Elliott. And I wanna fall in love.
That's Chris Isaac.
Oh shit.
Close though.
Yeah.
But yeah, he deliberately takes that name too when he kills the rest of the 5 Inversions, and he uses their blood to form the Red Lantern Central Power Battery.
Whoa.
Because Atrocitus has a sort of blood magic tie too. Like the 5 Inversions had a sort of magic thing. That was the whole thing about the Empire Tears, is they were kind of like sorcerers a little bit. But he uses their blood and he mixes it with his rage to build the Red Lantern Central Power Battery. And he, every time he kills like a Guardian or people, like just random lanterns or whatever, he uses that blood magic to like make new rings for the core and shit. Like there's a whole thing. So so someone doing that being like, call me Atrocitus, is like, you either play in Slipknot or you do this. Like it's either way, right?
Yeah, not. It's not that interesting.
It's not as interesting as if his name was like Lothar Atrocitus.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it's not quite the same as Sinestro, but it is funny to point out how, you know, direct Green Lantern villains can be sometimes.
Yes. All right, let's leave Facebook.
There's also one called Evil Star. Like there's Green Lantern villains that have some fucking the Shark.
Sure, I wonder what his deal is.
Not like Shark Master or Mr. Shark, even. It's just like the Shark.
Yeah. I do like
Evil Star.
Yeah.
Are you a good guy?
What's the cat's name again?
Dexstar.
Oh, yeah. That's it. It is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's leave Facebook and head on over to Blue Sky. Hey there, Mr. Blue
Sky.
There we go. Every time you go, shit, what is it? And then I'm part of it. That's why.
Let me cook.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Fa la 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 la.
God, when he's on top, he's really on top. From Frey Girl, who asks, if he were transported to the Barbie-verse, which Barbie would he be?
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, how much Atrocitus have you
Very little.
read? Have you come across much of him?
Maybe some. I truly don't know the character that well.
I mean...
Is he the bug devilly looking thing?
I mean, I'm going to need a lot more than that. He's the giant red guy with sharp teeth that, like, spits blood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, God, what Barbie would he be? I don't know that there's a good Barbie analog for him.
Who's the angriest? Is he Ken?
Well, no, because there's also lots of Kens, though, right? Like,
Was
are
he
you
the
Beach Ken? Are you
Ken?
Dr. Ken? Are you
Main Ken.
Main Ken?
He's the angriest.
But Beach Ken is he just gets misled, I think.
I think they all just do.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's hard with Barbie.
Is he Will Ferrell? I don't know.
The angriest Barbie. I mean, what was her name? A Midge or whatever? What's the weird one that they're always kind of like slightly weirded out by?
Oh, the one that what's her
Actually,
name
that
plays?
wouldn't work. That's more like Larfleeze, I think.
Yeah.
Truly, no idea. It's a fun question, but I really don't know how to answer that because the whole inherent thing is that there's not just like you're closer than I am, where there is something festering at the heart of Ken.
It's the only thing I could think
it's
of.
The closest.
It's
the
get.
closest you'll get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Blue Sky and head over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them. Nice.
That was some 3-4 timing.
Yeah. Hang on. Skeleton baby.
No, all right.
Put some candy into my sack. That's whack.
I knew that was coming.
To give an apple or two. It's whack to give an apple on Halloween.
Yeah, no, I mean, agreed. Yeah, it's not good.
Skeleton baby.
I think you're good.
You mean that, man?
No.
That I'm good?
No.
Oh, I really needed that.
You're great.
Great. It's Halloween, I think it's great.
I'm also orange and black.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
See? Yeah. It's not red on my scarf. It's the blood of my enemies.
Jesus.
All right. On Instagram, first question comes from, don't think of any more. It's fine. You have to answer these questions. The real Josh Gill. Oh, sexy Gill. Do you have one?
No.
Okay.
I saw Mommy sharpen Freddy's claws.
Whoa.
Oh
my God, that could have been the whole time Freddy's claws instead of skeleton. Yeah.
I could have done Freddy Baby.
Yeah.
Freddy Baby, take another stab in my dream. I'll creep.
I was gonna say take another stab in my jeans, I'll cream, but that's even better.
Sorry, so that was the bit you were gonna change? So we both
Yeah.
As long as we both landed that plane.
Oh yeah. I'll cream.
We're gonna record a 15-hour Docmas this year.
Between the amounts of shitting, it may not be that much content, but it will sure take that much time.
Yeah. Dairy Docmas, or as I've started calling it, just for
Moo.
us, moo dairy, moo problems.
Yeah. A thing you just put in our group, a calendar for us. Yeah. And I immediately saw it because I was putting my own thing in the calendar, not thinking you were actually going to put an official thing in the calendar. And so I was just doing it for me. And then that popped up and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hell yeah.
Josh asks,
Sure.
what happens if Atrocitus removes his ring or has it forcibly removed? Is he strong enough to survive?
So, again, when you become a Red Lantern, there's this thing in the emotional spectrum lore, which is the further from the center you are, the more extreme the emotion is, and the more the emotion controls you versus the opposite. So in the center, we've got the Green Lanterns who it's like, well, no, it's my will.
Sure.
Like, that's their thing. And the further out you get, the more you're kind of dominated by this thing. Greed, rage, love, even. Like the Star Sapphires are like a little crazy, you know?
Totally.
Like, the Indigo Lanterns are like a cult that forces people to feel bad, you know? Like, it gets more extreme the further out you go. So part of it is that when you're selected by a Red Lantern ring, you become consumed by rage. It stops your heart. It burns out your blood. You spit your own blood out. Yikes. And the red, like, blood magic light of rage becomes your new blood, basically.
Sure.
And your ring and your power, your rage power is your heart now.
Okay.
That it consumes you, becomes the only thing you are, right? That's the metaphor, you know?
All you are is
the
rage.
only thing you have at the heart of you is rage at a certain point, right? So very few, when that happens, very few Red Lanterns actually have even like intellectual capacity. You become these kind of like kind of like rage monsters.
Tasmanian devil.
Like part of the inspiration for the Red Lanterns was 28 Days Later.
Sure. Yeah.
Supposedly.
Okay.
But because Atrocitus is also a very accomplished like blood magician, he conducts a ritual that like basically allows certain Red Lanterns that he chooses to get that intellect back. So Bleeze or Guy Gardner or Rancor, or there's a few others, he lets them have that. So then they're more like an actual core.
Oh, okay.
He can be like, and this is my plan. And they go, oh, okay. Instead of like, you know.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah.
He can kind of control them anyway, but it's you know, it's a lot easier administratively.
Sure.
So he's a very accomplished blood magician, and he's like used blood magic to like see into the future, divine prophecies, like all of these kind of like things like that. So if you take the red ring off any other lantern, they don't have a heart and they don't have blood.
Yeah.
Unless you've got something that can heal that. Someone has a healing power that they can use, or
transfuse blood into them very quickly,
or that, or like you know, like blood work is like basically like a sanguikinetic character in a Flash villain. Like maybe they could help, or the Blue Lantern uses their kind of healing powers to ease you out of it and then take the ring from you. Unless you have something like that, you fucking die. Now, for Atrocitus, it's not that he's not mortal. He absolutely is. He can be killed. But I imagine he could probably blood magic his way into surviving, even if the ring was taken off of him. Mm-hmm. He's also like the genesis point of the entire Red Lantern Corps. Like, it's his rage and his magic that even started it. So I think he could probably figure it out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Next question from Keegan Steedman, who asks, favorite Atrocitus moment? I'm having trouble thinking of specifics, but I'm sure he has some great menacing moments.
Oh, I found one. I wanted to talk about it more specifically than I usually do with things, because it is pretty cool. I think it's from around Final Crisis. It might be like Rage of the Red Lanterns.
Okay.
That Final Crisis tie-in. He. Sorry, I'm just pulling this up here. Oh no, it's not that one. It's this one. I think he tries to take the Butcher, which is the emotional entity of rage. So in addition to there being core and light, each one has an entity, basically like a sentient embodiment of that light.
Sure.
Parallax is that for the yellows.
Okay.
Parallax, the fear thing, is the sentient emotional entity of fear.
But I thought what's his name became paralyzed
Because it possessed him.
Oh, okay.
So these entities can possess. Ion.
Sure.
That Sodom Yad has been Ion. Kyle Rayner's been Ion. Ion is the emotional entity of will that has possessed characters. Every one of them has one. The Red Lantern one is called the Butcher. And it
my name's the Butcher.
It kind of looks like a taureau. Kind of just looks like a bull.
Oh. Is that what is Toro the name? Is that like Spanish for bull?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which comes from Taurus. They're all connected.
That's why we say Toro.
Yeah, you say bull.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Look at that. Sometimes you learn stuff on this podcast.
I mean, always you learn stuff.
Sometimes.
Always.
Hey, I'm cooking.
Okay. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Butcher baby. So,
skeleton baby.
I think the setup to this is that Atrocitus was trying to find a host for the Butcher.
Satan baby, obviously.
Fuck. I'm so fucking angry about that. You're right. We'll come back to it. But the Spectre stops him from picking this, a human guy whose, wife and kid were murdered or whatever.
Yeah.
He stops Atrocitus from making that guy the host for the Butcher, and the Spectre is, trying to intervene there. Atrocitus says something like, the Spectre says, I'm just going to read some of this for a bit. The Butcher may be taken care of, but there are still guilty souls to judge. And he tries to judge this guy. His name's James Kim, just a regular guy, who I think went on a murder spree or whatever because his wife got killed. And Atrocitus stops the Spectre, and he says, Atrocitus, you wish to continue this fight. And Atrocitus has this kind of monologue where he says, if I must, you were chained to a human soul, but it's clear you don't understand humanity. This man lost his daughter. You have no emotional component to your judgment, blah, 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 blah. He goes, that convict's life did not equal the life of Mr. Kim's daughter. His eye is worth nothing compared to hers. Eye for an eye is a fallacy.
Wow.
And he basically has this whole long speech. It keeps going where he stares down the Spectre and he's like, you don't know shit about vengeance or rage or what it means to enact justice or stuff like that. Now, obviously, Atrocitus's version of justice is still very violent, very wrathful, but so is the Spectre. So the Spectre goes, fine, but I'm going to judge you. And he goes to judge Atrocitus, and he stops, and he goes, I understand. Atrocitus says, what? And the Spectre says, you cannot be judged. Your mission is a holy one, but know that it will not last forever. So the Spectre is actually not able to take out Atrocitus. And it's just a really cool scene of Atrocitus staring down the Spectre and talking about, those themes that are interesting in a Spectre story, which is is vengeance ever a good form of justice?
Sure, yeah.
What are these things that we're talking about? So I really like that. I think that's a really cool Atrocitus moment.
Yeah, that's rad. I like that.
I think it's from, if it's not from Rage of the Red Lanterns, it's just in a Green Lantern book, but I can't remember.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next question from GGMU Crow, who asks, is Atrocitus truly a villain or a father avenging his wife and daughters? Is he a John Wick or just a dick?
I mean, he did have a family. He was not a rage man before the Manhunters wiped out his sector.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an element of what did that rage turn him into? But we are a long way past John Wick.
Sure.
I know when you add up John Wick's kill count, it doesn't maybe look all that different. But John Wick is he's propelled, yes, okay, I can see the connections. They're both very violent. They kind of, this is the way they know to deal with things. They answer violence with violence. There's not a lot of like compassion, or not that there's not compassion, but there's not a lot of forgiveness.
Sure.
Between them.
Forgiveness day.
Yeah, forgiveness day. But
let me cook.
But yeah, let him cook. But the thing with John Wick is that he's still generally propelled by some sense of actual justice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that scene with the Spectre aside, Atrocitus, if you get in the way of him enacting justice, he'll kill you too.
Sure.
John Wick does that, but only with people that are already kind of bad. But Atrocitus would kill like other innocent people if they're in like Atrocitus is another step beyond where Wick is. But I do think because John Wick, those movies ask that question about like, what does revenge do to you? Like, what does it mean to kind of get corroded by anger and all those kind of things, over time? Like, that's sort of an arc of those movies. Atrocitus is kind of like a very extreme kind of like mythological level answer to it, where you just become a thing that is only rage.
Yeah.
Like what else is there even to live for at that point? And John doesn't get there. So they're not quite the same that way. As far as whether or not he's a villain, like he is a villain. Lots of villains have motivation, but having a motivation doesn't mean your actions aren't villainous.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So just because there's a part of him that is understandable, which is that he lost his wife and kid, that his race was destroyed, doesn't mean that everything that comes after that is
justified,
just or good or righteous, or certainly not the way he does it either. There's a cruelty, there's a malice beyond
vengeance.
It's not about righting any wrong. It's about inflicting pain on others because pain was inflicted on him. That's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he's absolutely a villain. Having moments where you go like, there's like, he's got some depth to him, doesn't undo the villainy. You know what I mean? I think there's I think sometimes there's an impulse to swing too far the other way and say, if we want a rounded character, we need to be able to be right in his shoes. Like, why did we make Thanos such like why couldn't Thanos just be courting death like he did in the comics?
Sure, yeah.
Because that's hard to understand. That's just evil. What if
Sure.
Obviously he's doing bad things, but like all he wants is, he just wants, ecological stability.
Yeah, sure.
Like, why do we have to do that? I think there's a mistake in conflating the idea of having a three-dimensional character with, we get it, that's not really like
an understandable character.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's not the same thing. You can have a character with layers that is fully fucking evil.
Yeah.
I think that's fine and totally doable,
Totally.
And so I think Atrocitus probably falls more into that camp than in any sort of like, even when he's, been on the side of the angels or whatever, like he's not an anti-hero. Atrocitus is not that guy,
Sure. From Robbie's Just This Guy, they ask, any good recent blood prophecies?
Recent ones, I don't think so, but Atrocitus does have quite a few good blood prophecies. He prophesied the Blackest Night.
Okay.
Like the whole coming to pass of Blackest Night, he saw. He prophesied the death of Abin Sur, that Abin Sur's ring would fail him at a critical moment. He saw that. He prophesied himself killing the rest of the 5 inversions. He's seen lots of shit in kind of blood magic and blood prophecy. And some of that stuff is like retcons, right? We retcon him into being part of like the end of Abin Sur and in the origin of Hal Jordan and stuff like that. We take this idea, this older idea of the 5 inversions, and we put Atrocitus in there as one of them. So that's a very Johnsian thing to do, is to take a sort of story or a concept or whatever that we've forgotten about from an older era and kind of reassign it to something else. He did it with Black Hand in general. But like, there's layers of retcons there. He did it with Black Hand to make him like the Herald of the Blackest Night. But who knew he was going to be the Herald of the Blackest Night? It was Atrocitus. Atrocitus tries to stop it from happening, and Atrocitus has this device that can sap power from Green Lantern rings. Well, who do we know from the Silver Age that had a device that could do that? William Hand, the Black Hand. So now we've retconned that he gets that device from Atrocitus, and that all of these things were always connected the whole time, like a true retcon. You know,
I didn't think that he was part of Blackest Night, though.
he is in that all of the core are eventually. They all show up because they learn that if you mix your lights together, you could destroy the Black Lanterns. So he shows up. Some other Reds shows up. His ring duplicates, and the duplicate one deputizes Mira into the Red Lantern Corps. Because that's part of Blackest Night is that each corps deputizes like a new random character.
Oh,
in.
sure.
Like the Flash is in the blue.
Yes.
Atom is indigo. Mira is red. Luthor is orange.
Okay.
You know.
Here is red, eh?
Yeah. Which kind of works. But at any rate, he is there. There is tie-ins to Blackest Night where we see the Black Lantern rings revive the other 4 inversions.
Sure.
And shit like that. You know, Ryut, the planet that Atrocitus is from, in Sector 666, that's where the Black Lantern Central Power Battery forms.
Oh, okay.
Because it is a sector of death and desolation and, you know, and shit like that. That's where it forms. So all of these things get tied together. But, yeah. Did I answer that? I forget what the question was.
Blood prophecies.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. Next question from Gucci Beanbag.
Hey, Doc, how's my beanbag? She's Gucci.
She's so Gucci.
Yeah.
Who asks, is it me or did anyone else get really in their own feels when Saint Walker and Atrocitus had that heart-to-heart?
So I think that's in Green Lantern New Guardians.
Yeah.
In that book. There's a moment where basically Saint Walker, who's the leader of the Blue Lanterns, the Hope Lanterns, and Atrocitus, the leader of the Rage Lanterns, the Red Lanterns, sit down and discover they have similar trauma. Saint Walker, whose real name is Bro D. Walker, with like an apostrophe in there to make it alien.
Bro.
B-R-O apostrophe D.
Bro D.
Walker. He also lost like a partner and child and stuff like that. And they have this like kind of sit down, a kind of quiet moment, and Atrocitus is like, wait, that happened to you too? And he's like, yeah. And like, and I was angry and shit, but like now I'd rather hope. I want to find a better tomorrow. I want to help people through that kind of stuff. But there's just, and it's a really nice little moment. And then Saint Walker slips up and says like his family was like died in an accident. And Atrocitus goes, there was no fucking accident that took my family from me. We don't have the same story at all.
Oh.
So we have this like nice little moment, and then Atrocitus finds a way to put the wall back up.
Sure.
But it is pretty cool, actually. I like that one. I can't remember precisely what issue that's from, but I'm positive it's from that Green Lantern New Guardians series.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Last.
Actually, no. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually from earlier than that. Maybe it's just in Green Lantern, but it's during like Brightest Day or something. Because the New Guardians one, Atrocitus isn't the Red Lantern rep on that. That's Bleeze, I think, in that book. And I think his brother Warth is the Blue Lantern in that one. So we must be talking pre-Flashpoint, I guess? Somewhere around there, though. After Blackest Night, before New 52 New Guardians.
Okay.
Don't act like you didn't fully understand what I just said.
Easy. He's cooking.
Let me.
Last question from Instagram comes from Liam K. Willis, who asks, what you talking about, Willis?
Nice.
Most heroic moment and most evil moment.
I mean, he crushed a guardian's head in his bare hands. He like killed a guardian. They're supposed to be like, I mean, guardians die a lot, but they're supposed to be immortal.
Sure.
You know, and he just fucking like that's before he was.
I mean, immortal doesn't make you invincible.
True, but they're also supposed to be pretty hard to kill.
Oh, okay.
Like Steven Seagal, hard to kill, or is that Van Damme? I don't remember.
As long as we're talking about Punani.
Joke from another podcast.
I don't care.
Everything's a crossover.
Everything's a crossover.
But I'm pretty sure Atrocitus does that before he even has a fucking lantern ring. Like that's just him. That's a I'm him moment.
Oh.
He just
that
fucking
doesn't
kills.
exist.
I think he also fucking crucifies Sinestro at one point.
Whoa.
Like he's done some pretty like crazy shit. And I mean he's like ripped lanterns and like he's a merciless fighter. Like there's no I'll let you off with a warning. Like
Sure.
He doesn't just go to punch. He's like killing, shredding, ripping, spits that like acid blood kind of vomit, like burning. He doesn't give a shit, you know? So there's lots of evil moments that way, which is pretty good.
What about heroic?
Heroic is, I mean, the closest you get is him agreeing to team up with some other Lantern Corps because there's a bigger threat. So Blackest Night.
Sure.
Where he goes like, fine, I'll team up with you because zombies are worse than whatever is happening here.
Sure.
That's about as heroic as he gets, though. Like, there's not a ton of like self-sacrificing Atrocitus or whatever. It's more just like, I just understand there's not going to be a universe left for me to operate in if I don't do something here.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Instagram and head over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
First question comes from Eldritch Salat, who asks, is he even really a villain? He fucking hates the Guardians of the Universe, but like ACAB, right? Those pigs essentially murdered his family, friends, his entire sector. It sounds like the Guardians are held as much accountable for their actions as our police are here. I don't always support his actions, but like Ghost Rider or Venom, I fully support his cause.
Listen. The Guardians fucking suck.
Yeah.
And everything they do, it's their weird self-appointed power. They always are short-sighted. They claim to be emotionless. They're always governed by fear of losing their own power.
Yeah.
They
like
are
America.
They are bad protectors.
Yeah.
Bad administrators. They keep making colossal fuck-ups, like the Manhunters. Even kind of like the Green Lanterns. They turn on the Green Lanterns just like they turned on the Manhunters. They're duplicitous. They're bad. ACAB. 100%. I'm ACAB. But does that mean that I want, like, every cop to get brutally murdered? No.
Yeah.
I want the system to change,
Yeah.
you know? Like, so on that alone, yes, Atrocitus is a villain.
Yes.
Of course he's a villain. I get where you're coming from with this question, though. Like, he is a villain with a motivation. I mean, he's a villain that sometimes makes a point, but he's not a villain.
Sure.
Like, if Atrocitus was like, all of this horrible stuff happened to me and it filled me with rage, and that's why I'm petitioning to change the structure of the... Now you've got a compelling argument for him not being a villain.
Now you got a stew going.
Baby, you got a stew going.
Yeah.
But if your only answer is to like rip your adversaries to literal shreds and like spit on the memory of their families, you're a villain.
You're almost as bad as the cops.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
as bad or worse, it doesn't really matter, but you're definitely a villain.
Yeah.
You know, that's not an exoneration of any of the things that the Guardians or the Green Lanterns or the Manhunters have legitimate responsibility over at all. You know, but it would be crazy to say he's not a villain.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Next question from Not I Noob Master 69, who
Nice.
asks, nice.
Yeah.
How would you continue Atrocitus's legacy if he were to perish? would there be a battle of the throne per se for the Red Lantern Corps?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. It's actually happened. So, in the New 52, somewhere after the Third Army arc, after the end, I can't remember which arc it was. At some point, Guy Gardner gets basically sent to go undercover in the Red Lanterns. He's, quote, kicked out of the Green Lantern Corps and sent to go, like, join the Red Lanterns. And as he does that, he comes to, like, a full, like, challenge for supremacy with Atrocitus. And he fucking wins.
Whoa.
And he kills Atrocitus.
Damn.
And as you might expect from the Rage Lanterns, if you killed the big boss, it's like Klingon rules apply. You're the boss now. So Guy Gardner becomes the leader of the Red Lantern Corps. And he starts doing a thing where he's kind of like, we can use our rage for good. So instead of just terrorizing, he starts kind of trying to teach the Red Lanterns like how to be a force for good or more for good. In this time period, Supergirl is even inducted into the Red Lantern Corps briefly. She's part of it, and he tries to help her manage her rage and stuff like that. That you could use it. You don't have to quell it. You could just direct it. You could be productive with it. You know, it's sort of a new chapter for the Red Lanterns. After the events of Lights Out, where they fight Relic, and the Red Lanterns help stop Relic, Hal makes a deal that kind of accidentally gives the Red Lanterns full protection of Sector 2814. And Green Lantern...
2814.
Exactly. It's where Earth is. It's also where Yzmalt is, which is their home planet. But it makes the Red Lanterns the protectors of Earth's home sector. Green Lanterns aren't allowed in. And Guy Gardner, as a Red Lantern, leading the Red Lanterns, kind of has to figure out, like, can I still do the function of a lantern, but with this power, not will? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But the answer to the specific question is, it's like dual challenge rules. If you fight the big boss and win, you take over. Now, if Atrocitus had died in a different circumstance, not from Guy Gardner challenging him and beating him, then there's the question of, well, then it might be a more chaotic. If Atrocitus just died in battle,
yeah, out of nowhere,
then there'd be more of a like power struggle among the Lanterns, certainly. But you got to remember, very few Red Lanterns even have intellectual capacity.
Yeah, because
so the struggle's only between like maybe a dozen max.
Sure.
Lanterns, because the rest are sort of just waiting for who's going to give them the,
sure,
you know,
yeah, the rage. They have the rage virus.
Yeah. So it's Atrocitus ends up coming back from the dead or having survived or whatever, and he makes a splinter group of Red Lanterns and shit during that whole Guy Gardner thing. But yeah, I think you don't get a big battle for the cowl kind of situation because of the circumstances of how he died there.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, next question from Golden Ganji, who asks, where is Atrocitus from? What's the name of his home planet? And do we see any other characters that are the same species?
So he is from Ryut, which is a planet in Sector 666. We see the planet Ryut a bunch because that's where the Black Lantern's central power battery forms. It's where the corpse of the Anti-Monitor is. It's all sorts of it's a land of death. Through some flashbacky stuff, we see some of Atrocitus' story. But really, other than that, no, you don't see other members of his race. There are no other survivors because, again, only 5 beings survive in the whole sector.
Wow.
From when the Manhunters go rogue.
That's crazy.
Not on his planet, in the sector. So the other 4 inversions are from other planets in that sector.
Yeah.
Atrocitus is the only native of Ryut to survive. So, no, you don't really meet any other ones.
Well, damn. Next question from Nobody89, who asks, where would you rank his magical abilities? He was able to create an entirely new Lantern Corps, but could he stand up to Zatanna or Dr. Fate in a wizard duel?
So his magic's not like quick magic. You know what I mean? Like he's not like out in the field and then he goes like and like makes a spell or some shit. Like his magic is like ritual. Like I gotta kill. There's this blood. We put it in a thing. There's an incantation. There's fire. There's like, like there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of prep. There's a lot of like rules to it. Now, he can do a bunch with it. And what you just said, like he forged a power battery from his rage and the blood of the other inversions and shit. Like he's done some crazy shit. He replicated Owen technology with just magic and rage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is wild. There's a lot going on in there. And I think that is somewhat consistent because, like, think of how we treat any magic characters. Like, blood magic always has, like, there's another level to it, right? Yeah. There's a level where you can write runes or you say your backwards stuff, but if you, like, cut your hand and then do a thing, it's like magic's always bigger, stronger, crazier when blood's involved.
Sure, yeah.
So if that's the shit he's good at, like, it just means he's more like artillery than infantry.
Sure.
Like big, powerful,
but like
scary ability for prophecy or to create a source of power or to make a portal or to do whatever the fuck. But it takes time and it's costly. Like there's not just one pool of blood. He's like, I gotta kill another person to make 5 more rings. It's like there's like a big cost to it. So it's not really a thing that comes up in the field particularly, other than the fact that the Red Lanterns in general are sort of fueled by a combination of red light of rage and magic. So other than that, it doesn't really come up. So Zatanna, Dr. Fate, characters like that would probably largely wipe the floor with him. But what would happen in a story like that, if you were really pitting them against each other, is he'd be like, years ago I made the blood pledge and your petty sorceress tricks don't work. Like he would do shit like that. But no, there's stronger, better magicians than he is. That's
that's fair. All right. Well, with that, we're leaving Reddit and heading over to the Doxcord.
Let me cook.
Cook away, maestro. He's cooking. Oh my god, he's doing blood magic.
Duck scored. Duck scored.
Maestro. Duck.
You fucking saved me because I had nothing.
Duck scored.
Duck scored. Duck scored.
Duck scored.
I should just go like full, like just opera. Like next week I'll do the aria from Carmen. Duck scored. Duck scored. Duck scored. Duck scored. Oh yeah, I'll do that. What's it called? Nessendorma or whatever. Yeah.
I was trying to do Ave Maria, but it's hard. Oh, okay, yeah.
Ave Maria.
Didn't like that note.
Yeah.
First question comes from
Satan, baby.
Yeah.
Put your pitchfork under my tree. Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-woo.
Oh, I was doing poopy butthole, but
Ooh-wee.
He's in the first episode of the new season.
Is the new season started?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah, with the new voice actors.
Oh fuck, I gotta watch that.
Yeah. First question comes from Butt.
Nice.
Apparently that's all.
Yeah.
It's really reduced. I think we're having we started doing a lot of like extra layers on a lot of our names.
I think we should all go full minimal names.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have Butt. We'll have DM. We'll have Stump. We'll have.
What are you? Doc? My dick?
Do you know? I'm gonna change it right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're doing this. We're
Live.
going on to the Doxword. Go to patreon.com/DrDC. For only $1, you can join the Doxword too. You could be on our awesome Discord channel. I'm going to get in here right now. It's a fun thing I like to do.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing to do.
And I'm going to
And it's
change
just
my...
easy to do.
And I know how to do it, and I
Yeah.
definitely know where the setting is.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's...
I know.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
We both know where it is.
Wait.
And
yep.
can easily...
Nope, hang on.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
not the right thing.
That's the one. I found it.
Okay.
I'm going to change it. Just go... Nope. I'm just going to...
Yeah.
There we go. Put that in.
Oh,
and,
yeah, there it is. A thing we were prepared to do.
Yep, this is okay. And then I go do that, and yep. And I go, yep.
Yeah.
And then I go back, and let's see if it worked.
And then we're done.
Holy shit. Okay, if I just go, did it
There we go.
work? Yes. You'll hear it Wednesday.
Ominous.
I just wrote, did it work? Because I wanted to see if... I wrote it in a weird channel, too. I wrote it in the memes channel.
What?
I don't know. I didn't change them.
Well, if you're wondering why that weird thing happened there.
I'm still in some groups from work, from old work.
I've been trying to get rid of those.
There's so many of them.
I know.
Get out.
I deleted
Well,
them.
I don't need to do this right now.
Yeah, this is literally the worst time to be doing this.
I mean, it's a time to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, you keep going.
First question come from Butt, who asks, whatever became of the Hell Seed that was left on Earth in the first Green Lantern story arc?
So in the book Green Lanterns, which was Simon, Baz, and Jessica Cruz as Earth's Green Lanterns.
Okay.
The first arc, they fight Atrocitus and the Red Lanterns and stuff like that. And Atrocitus leaves this thing in the planet called a Rage Seed that I believe is meant to increase the sort of like the wrath, the feelings of rage in the populace. He's basically trying to spawn like another kind of wellspring of rage. Whatever happened to the Rage Seed?
Whatever happened to the Rage Seed? Atrocitus, the Green Lanterns.
The evening TV.
Still that.
Listen.
Let him cook.
My only contribution
was
was
the, thing
the real lyrics.
You're like, hold on, I got this. Evening TV.
Oh my god. What fright is this? Nope, that's not it.
Nope.
I don't know what song I was singing. Good King Skeleton looked out
You really love Skeleton.
on the eve of Hallows.
All right.
Walked his pillowcase about.
Oh, that's really good.
Getting lots of chocolate.
Can't
Threw
believe
an egg at Jimmy's house. Cause
and
his mom's a bitch. So the Rage Seed. I'm pretty sure that's just a dangling thread. I don't think it ever gets picked up. I think we just forgot about it. It might technically still be in there. If there was a writer out there that wanted to pick it up, they absolutely could. But I think the Rage Seed just got forgotten, unless I'm really missing something. But I think that's a dangling thread.
Damn. Well, shit.
Creative team changed a couple of times on that book. I'm not sure if that was a victim of that, but yeah.
All right. Next question from Lilith, who asks, in the New 52, Peter Milligan tried to flesh out Atrocitus and make him more than simply a rage-filled killer. Do you think this new take worked?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't want anyone to think me going like, he's definitely a villain means I don't want him to have like inner life.
Yeah.
It's always more interesting that way. That he had a family and all of these kind of pieces. That he saw these prophecies and he was like, I got to do something about this shit. But every choice he makes is the angriest one.
Yeah.
You know, the most destructive one. That's villainy. You know, like and he refuses to change. He won't change, and and I think that's what makes him a villain. But to make him an interesting villain, you have to have these moments where he could have picked a different path.
Sure.
He's got to come up. If he never, ever had another option, then you go like, that's fine for a bit. It works on some characters, but not very many. Joker, But even Joker, you can want to see those moments where it's like in Killing Joke, like, could we stop this tonight?
Yeah.
The fact that he says no, maybe he was always going to say no or whatever, but you have to at least come close to those moments to have a little bit of depth or a little bit of interest. Like, there's a moment where the armor comes down, even for Joker, where he's just like, well, no, we'll share a joke right now. Like, we'll share a joke. It's not me taunting or something, but he tells that joke about the flashlight and the inmates,
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
And then him and Batman laugh about it. That's a moment of vulnerability that, like, somehow doesn't undermine the Joker. It actually makes him work better. Atrocitus, to me, should be in roughly that camp. Not that he should be, like, as famous as the Joker or something, but, like, you have these moments, like, where he sits down with Saint Walker and, like, are we turning a corner here? And then there's just that, no, I'm back to it.
Yeah.
And I think that helps make you a little bit more nuanced than that. And, like, certainly through the New 52, I think the family thing was like another addition. Like,
sure,
his race was always wiped out in that big massacre or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's in the New 52 that we examine that he had a wife and a kid, like maybe those specifics or something like that. But at any rate, all that stuff always makes him more interesting. I like that. But it doesn't mean I want him it doesn't mean I want him to change. Totally. It actually just makes it more tragic when he doesn't change, when you learn more of the human, or you see more of those moments, him with the Spectre or whatever. You're like, there's a person in there. And the fact that you won't embrace it is actually even sadder.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Oh, there must be a steampunk tropical shit going on because it's Big Bear.
A steampunk tropical shit?
Yeah.
I'm going to pinch a steampunk loaf.
If you've been to Big Bear Restaurant in Whitehorse, Yukon,
a Cleveland steampunk.
You'll know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Interesting decor. Good food.
It's tropical steampunk.
I guess, yeah.
It's
not that steampunk. It's mostly...
It's very steampunk.
It's not steampunk. It's industrial. That's
no. Then you have clearly not paid attention when you were there.
I totally paid attention.
There was a parrot with those fucking steampunk glasses on it.
I mean, one parrot. Does one steampunk parrot make the restaurant steampunk?
Did you go to the bathroom when you were there?
No. I don't go to the bathroom. No, I said what I said.
That wasn't the challenge.
What?
If you go to the bathroom, the entire thing is just like cogs and like, it's weird.
It really is a weird aesthetic.
Someone today told me that it was apparently because there's two owners and one wanted tropical, one wanted steampunk,
and so they just
did it both.
Yeah, it is like looking at the insides of the Pirates of the Caribbean, like animatronics.
Yes, 1,000%. What's weirder too is that one, they still have some of the old restaurants there too, like so you can actually look and there's like wood cutouts and like bear paw,
right? The stuff from the old place.
So that's there too.
Yeah, it is weird.
And then none of it's reflected in the menu.
No, food's good though.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, no, it's
a little pricey.
Good. Yeah, but it's fucking bonkers.
It is insane.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I waited for 20 minutes to get it when it opened because it was like
I waited 20
rush.
minutes and it wasn't that busy. I mean, it was like full, but not busy enough.
You waited 20 minutes like 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Just why didn't you go somewhere else?
Because I was already sitting down.
Oh, sorry. I meant like I waited 20 minutes to get seated.
Oh, yeah.
Right when it opened because it was like a crazy rush.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you think Atrocitus could ever be in the Indigo Lanterns? Or if he already has, what was that like?
Of course he could be, but I mean, the thing with the Indigo Lanterns is they like force you into it. The question is, could you force Atrocitus? Maybe, but he's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
That's not a small fish to bring down,
Yeah.
So the Indigos did manage to get Sinestro, but they kind of caught Sinestro at a weird moment for him. He didn't have the yellow ring. He was a Green Lantern again. He was in a weird place. He was sort of sharing his power with Hal.
Sure.
They kind of caught him
At like a weak point.
in a weak point, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, they caught Black Hand for a bit. You know, like the Indigos have power, but like how many Indigos have to die to get Atrocitus?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah. 2, 1, 2.
Nice.
I don't have an end to that joke.
Nope. Let him cook.
You better just trail off.
Yep. All right. Next question. From the Moral Compass of the Doc Squad, who asks, Richard, from your experience, would therapy work for Atrocitus? What's the best advice an anger management therapist can give Atrocitus to mellow out?
I got 2 notes before you answer this.
Okay.
Note number 1, why would you just assume I don't have insight on therapy?
Because
what about me has made you think I can't weigh in? I'm fine.
One,
I've never been less than perfect.
One, the fact that you've never, ever talked about therapy. 2, the everything about you.
I don't even know what that means, but I'm going to stuff it down and pretend it didn't happen.
Well, never mind. Then you must have read that website.
Yeah.
It's a crossover.
Joke from another podcast. Yeah. And sorry, thing number 2.
Yeah.
Do you go to anger management?
No.
How are you going to weigh in on that?
No. I don't know shit about that.
I mean, if anyone here needs anger management,
it's you. Yeah.
But I won't.
No. And the reality is...
Read about it on the news.
Jeez. That's my anger management.
Jesus Christ.
No. Well, I think it's actually a much simpler answer, which is like, no, it wouldn't work for them unless they wanted it. That's the whole point of therapy, is like, you have to want it or it won't work.
No, it's like anything else. You just force it.
And then until, well, I mean, there's a fake it till you make it component, I guess. But
I mean, maybe the way you're doing it.
I pretend like I'm fine and everything is. No.
I don't want to air dirty laundry, but I feel like the Richard you are right now is pretty close to the Richard that was at the start of that journey.
No. Everything's going good.
That's just circumstantial. That has nothing to do with whether or not your approach to how things are going is healthy or helpful or good.
I'm doing less.
Someone should ask me the therapy question.
I'm accomplishing the most and doing less than I ever have. I'm great.
All right.
Spider-Man 2 is coming out on Friday. I'm going to have a great week.
That's pretty cool.
I'm going to have a great day.
You're right. You don't need therapy.
And then I'm going to Japan next week.
You did it. You won.
I beat therapy.
You beat it.
I'm good at life.
Yeah.
Watch out. Let me cook.
And obviously, I'm fine. Richard? I'm fine. That's what I said.
I don't really have any
Richard
advice for anger.
I'm fine is what I said.
Yes, sir.
Fucking thank you.
You don't need therapy at all.
Thank you.
Moving on. Uh-oh. Did you knock down the beans?
I did, but they didn't get out.
Okay, thank God. Don't
worry,
let
the
them
containment is holding.
Yeah. It's going to be like the fucking Nazis in Indiana Jones.
Jesus. I was thinking like Ghostbusters.
Oh, sure, that too. Oh, my God.
Oh, sorry. What was the anger management piece of it, though?
What's the best advice an anger management therapist can give to Atrocitus to mellow out?
Oh, you know what I find is like...
Yeah, what do you find?
You know, like if my wife's ever angry, I just tell her to calm down. And that tends to go pretty well for me.
Also, sometimes you say chillax, babe.
Yeah, why don't you just take a breather?
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't matter.
Take a chill
The thing
pill.
you're mad about isn't important. Is that helpful? Is that good?
Yeah, try that.
Is that a good way to be?
Yeah. Fuck. I haven't done this in a long time.
What?
Raging G! I won't stop shitting. raging. Gee, I love my baby kitten.
Sorry, which of those was the cool one? Remember, the formula is a cool thing and then like a soft thing.
Yeah.
So is it cool to not stop?
I won't stop shitting.
Right.
It's not I can't stop shitting.
You won't.
I won't stop shitting
until I can speak to the manager.
Yeah.
Just you at the restaurant.
I think that's pretty cool.
I won't stop shitting. Until my demands are met,
I won't stop shitting.
I mean, that is pretty fucking
That's
cool.
fucking rad. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Yeah.
Let me cook.
Man, I'm sorry I doubted you.
Thank you. They ask, why Atrocitus like his cat so much?
Oh, because Dexter gets him. Dexter, used to have love in his life. Dexter is that like an Earth cat that becomes a Red Lantern. It had,
But is he like cuddly with it? Like,
no, but they're always together. Like he's basically he's almost like a familiar.
Okay.
To him now. I think the thing to remember though too is that Dexter is still a cat, and even though the Red Lantern ring and the magic allows it to speak a little bit, it still just says things like "good kitty" and like
sure.
It speaks simply. It's not going like, well, actually,
sure, yeah,
algebraically.
yeah.
Like it's not like I don't know
smart things.
Yeah, word.
Yeah. Algebraic. What are you fucking The Adventure Time or something?
Algebraic.
Yeah.
Before things get truly rhombus. What was I saying? Oh, he's still a cat, and he still is like. Even though he's a slightly more intelligible, that's not the same as being intelligent. More than a cat is.
Sure.
So there's the element of Atrocitus having like basically like a very loyal, essentially, familiar that is extremely dangerous and stuff like that. That works for him, right? A sort of thing that is unlikely to betray him or try to usurp him, but can like watch his back and things like that. I see the appeal in that. And then for Dexter, why wouldn't what would a cat do? It's like know who is responsible for feeding you and stay on their good side.
Sure. I mean, your cat doesn't take that into consideration, but
no, but my cat is an idiot.
Yeah. True.
So
your cat kind of is Dexter. Should have really called it Dexter.
I mean,
that would have made you like it too much.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's a match that works, right? Atrocitus doesn't have to worry about getting stabbed in the back by Dexter, and Dexter is still being a cat and staying near like the master, the leader. So I don't know that it's like Atrocitus is like, I love my kitty. I think it's more that like their pairing makes sense in the way that like humans and dogs have like an evolutionary bond and like I think there's something more alchemical about them.
Sure.
Than it just being like, you're so little fuzzy. Like, yes. I don't think it's that.
That'd be really funny, but
yeah.
Too bad. All right. Next question. Mullet of the Collis asks.
Kalis.
Walk. Since basically
Santa baby, put the batlass under the tree for me.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Bring me honor this year, Kalis baby. Hit me with a pain stick tonight.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Am I going to record a whole album of Klingon Christmas carols?
So weird.
Rock! In that voice. In everyone's least favorite Klingon voice. Fuck yeah.
He comes to stay for you. Ba-rum-pa-pum-pum.
Wow. Wow. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Targ. had a squirmy bowl of gawk.
Hell yeah. I mean,
This shit's happening.
yeah, it's happening. The amount of times we've said that. Since basically every other time we see him, he is wearing clothes, how weird does that make his appearance in Green Lantern's Secret Origin?
That's the one where we see him, and he's on Earth dealing with William Hand and stuff like that, like where they retcon him into Abin Sur's death and Hal Jordan's first adventure and Black Hand getting his device in that. I guess it's not that weird. I don't know, like, we're still figuring shit out at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's that weird, because I think at that point he had been part of the 5 inversions. He had been captured and put in prison on Yismalt or something like that by the Guardians. He hadn't, like, found a new purpose yet or anything like that. It's not that weird. I guess it's weird just because it's the outlier.
Sure.
But also aliens. What are clothes anyway?
Sure.
You know? I really want us to think about that. Let's take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Picture your favorite alien.
Mm-hmm.
Nude.
I mean, all the aliens I like are already nude.
Cool, man.
E.T.
Xenomorph.
E.T. Xenomorph. This alien from Signs.
Interesting. Okay. Mine aren't.
K-Pax.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't not on film, he wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Just when I saw him.
Yeah. One Nation Underwood.
Hey, last
joke for another
question.
podcast.
Last question.
Okay.
From JK, who asks, did Atrocitus use his blood magic to create the Red Lantern Corps? And if that's the case, does that mean that there's inherent magic in all of the cores? Also, is alien magic different from what we normally see on Earth?
Oh, I love that. I mean, technically,
because the blood magic was before the lantern. Like, he just created a lantern with his magic. But
there is not necessarily magic associated with every core.
Yeah.
Does Lyssa Drac of the Sinestro Corps have a kind of sorcery sort of vibe? Is there some stuff that's a little magic-y about it?
But that's not connected to the lantern, though.
Kind of. Well, I mean,
that's just they have it and they're using it with their lantern, right?
It's a little bit of like fear shit. Like,
sure.
But again, not everyone has it.
Exactly.
Arquillo can't do shit.
This is what I
like,
mean, though.
You know, more than any other core, the Reds have a magic connection because they are magically sustained.
Yeah.
Right? Their bodies have stopped working to keep them alive, and magic is keeping them going, right? And rage, but that combo. Does alien magic work different? In some senses, yes, but it obviously plays by some recognizable rules. We talked about blood magic, right? That the idea of a personal sacrifice, of committing the body to a ritual or something like that, is a form of like currency, of trading power for magic. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We see that on Earth. We see it with Atrocitus. We see it with, like, there are blood curses in other, things or whatever. So there are some, the rules of magic, they don't say on Earth. Earth is always the center of shit because it's comic books, and Earth is always Earth's always the focal point of the universe, right? But the rules of magic apply just broadly, right? I think there's also an argument to be made that is it the Arthur Conan Doyle thing or whatever, or Arthur C. Clarke or whatever?
Oh, technology.
Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That's the whole premise of the Flash villain Abracadabra, right? He comes from the 64th century, and you go like, I don't even know what that is, but he looks like magic, but he's actually technically not doing magic. The weird thing in DC is that magic is a real thing. The closest we get in DC to someone trying to bridge those things is Dr. Manhattan saying, oh, you all think you're using magic, but these are like the little remainders of equations, little scraps left over from creation that you're wielding. Now, that is him saying, I can reorganize that into a thing I can control, but it's not necessarily saying there is no magic. Because in DC, there is. Like, it is a thing. It's not just very advanced technology.
Yeah,
magic is a thing. So I think it plays by the same rules. Now, here's the thing. Like, on Earth, it's always like, well, we need the root of this tree or a thing like, or whatever. And you go, well, why is it like those ingredients so specific? There's no, like, for example, like olive trees on Ysmalt.
Yeah.
But what's at the fundamental root of magic is belief. Same with the sphere of the gods. Belief is what powers those things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's not the exact same there's not holy water, there's not whatever like there is on Earth, but you go to another planet, they must have belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
There must be something else. Maybe it's the rock from the top of this mountain, and we know, like,
sure,
it could be anything. So the currency of magic, I actually think, is pretty universal. The idea of bodily sacrifice, blood, or like a amputation or something like that's a power or ritual. The idea of something invested with belief and, like that gives it power. I think those rules are immutable and those are consistent through the universe. But you might find that an alien ritual looks slightly different because maybe instead of using organic materials and burning it in a fire like we see with a lot of rituals on Earth in a copper pot, maybe theirs are more about, committing stuff to the ground, or maybe it's like there's different fonts, but it's the same word.
Sure,
is I think the best way to put it.
Totally. Yeah. Well, that was the last question.
Holy shit, we did it.
We would love to hear from you, residents. Why don't you send in a question for next week's episode?
Next week's episode 404, and still part of Doctober, we're going to talk about insane supercomputers.
Or,
see my little joke that I did there?
I was going to say, or will the episode not come out?
It will come out.
Or will it?
Why wouldn't it?
There was a 404 error.
Well, I already made the joke with the computer episode. This is a hat on a hat.
Yeah, but if it doesn't come out...
This is a hat on a hat.
Yeah, oh my God. Dr. Evil?
Actually, I'm Lorne.
Oh, I can't tell.
Wait. Just give me a second here.
Are you going to pull up an audio thing? Because don't do that. It's not worth it.
No, I would never do that.
That's not funny. Like,
I'm not doing that.
Okay,
don't worry about
it.
Oh, why? No, that's not what I wanted to say.
Anyways, send in your question for next week's episode.
About insane supercomputers.
Yes, you can do that through our various social media platforms.
We're Dr. DC Podcast on the platforms.
That's right. Also, you can call us.
Do they know it's Halloween this year?
Nice. 208-917-DCEU.
It's beginning to look a lot fright Christmas. Fuck.
Christmas. You still say Christmas. You fucking idiot. You got so excited.
I'm so proud of
that.
It's a boo.
Oh.
Christmas without boo.
That's not the part you'd want to change.
Just a ghoul.
Oh, that's good.
Christmas.
No. Good God. That's it for this week. Check out Ghostface's Supernatural Rewatch podcast, where we're going through every single episode of Supernatural's CW show.
Mm-hmm. We do real
CW
world monster lore.
Show.
We talk about behind the scenes stuff about the show.
Yeah.
And don't forget, sign up on Patreon, patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, $7 level. They all give you access to the Docscord, where we've changed our name successfully. And at the higher levels, you get bonus episodes. We're doing fun stuff for Doctober. We're going to watch a scary movie this week.
I know. I've chosen it finally.
And at the highest level, there's even bonus podcasts, Toretto Talks, Bonding Time, stuff about Fast and Furious and James Bond, respectively. Hey, this week, Octopussy. Squid Gash, as Richard calls it. I said that on last week's episode. I don't think my wife knew that joke yet.
Oh.
And she like almost spat out her drink. It's like, next week is Octopussy, or as Richard calls it, Squid Gash. It was amazing.
Hell yeah. Come here, Squid Gash.
It's not even Connery anymore.
Hey, come here.
Come here, Squid Gash. Whoa. Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.